Hello everyone.
And thank you for choosing our San Francisco Central Waterfront project.
We are honored to receive this award today and hope our design is an inspiration for the current Bay Area design community and beyond. The Central Waterfront will now and in the future be challenged by several factors. The rising need of affordable housing and the threat of sea level rise are only a few. For us, it was important to share our ideas with the new urbanism community because we want to inspire the practice to go beyond the current development status quo, especially in the Bay, where current communities deserve a chance of growth.
The Central Waterfront development proposal is driven by the main values of environmental resilience and social inclusion. Hence, we introduced a new outboard seawall to protect from sea level rise. Then we connected the protected waterfront to 3rd Street with extending the grid and creating a new canal and creating 3 main green routes that connects the pedestrians to the waterside, where we identified historical and industrial sites to create cultural assets by adaptive reuse strategies. Additionally, to protect the existing local businesses and the urban fabric that combines the fine-grained scale of Dog Patch and the large warehouses, we created a toolkit of block typologies that include PDR activities and residential typologies to maintain the mixed-use character of the area.
It is an infill development that respects historical patterns. We encourage local tactics like the incursions of the residents into the industrial area trying to access the waterfront, or the small businesses functioning inside residences, allowing for a great street life. New urbanism keeps including theories, ideas, and tactics that are grounded in other streams of thought, like everyday urbanism or tactical urbanism. We believe that this ability of inclusion is one of the things that makes it great.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Thank you, and I'm glad to be here today.
So what's special about this project? I think the short answer would be almost every element of this project is special and quite unique.
Cul-de-sac Tempe is a 17-acre community with 1,000 people and 16,000 square feet of retail. But the coolest thing about Cul-de-sac Tempe is that over half the site is open space. That includes everything from a half-acre main park to shared courtyards that residents will spend time in to a main retail plaza that will have everything from a food truck park to outdoor movie nights.
We started cul-de-sac because the majority of the US wants to live in a walkable neighborhood, but only 8% does because we're not building enough walkable housing, and cul-de-sac's gonna change that.
My favorite thing about cul-de-sac is the fact that it is the first car-free community of its kind in the entire country.
By getting rid of private parking, we unlock so much more room for potential of shared spaces where people can spend time together.
I've been in the restaurant industry for 15 years, as an owner for 5 years. And as I went and visited other areas in the United States and the world, the walkability of an area is really important.
I'm most excited for all of our mobility options, which will really make Cul-de-sac Tempe the best place to live car-free.
Having a car-free property is really an incredible concept that we can't wait to see.
We will have residents on the street walking and biking, and you'll actually be able to see real people, not just people in cars.
We intrinsically share such similar core values.
In my career, I've worked on several different kinds of projects, but I've never worked on a project like this, so it's been exciting on so many levels.
I've been involved in real estate development in Arizona for over 40 years. It's a jump ahead of what we've normally looked at, but in a way that I feel very comfortable it's going to be a significant success.
I feel really strongly that this project will not only have an impact on the national scale, but will also have an impact internationally.
Cul-de-sac understands what the future is supposed to be like, understands the importance of investing now.
Having the first car-free community, not just in the state of Arizona, but in the entire country, it's a huge win for the city of Tempe.
This project is going to have a tremendous impact on the real estate industry. And what it takes is a really innovative and pioneering company like Cul-de-sac to come in and say, hey, we're going to do this different.
Thank CNU and the jury for selecting Cul-de-sac Tempe for this 2021 CNU Charter Award in the Emerging Projects category. On behalf of the Opticos team, the larger multidisciplinary team that was necessary to make this project happen, and our client Cul-de-sac, it's a great honor to receive this award. I do want to give a special thanks to our client Cul-de-sac for their evocative vision for car-free, mobility-rich living and giving us the opportunity to collaborate with them to make this a reality.
Hi, my name is Justin Garrison. I'm a senior urban designer here at Lake Plato Architects in Austin, Texas. Honored to be here. Thank you so much to CNU. Thank you so much to the jury members for your tremendous amount of effort reviewing all the amazing applicants. We are honored to be part of the winners for this year. Thank you so much. So for the 2021 Charter Awards, there was an emphasis on projects that supported the public realm. And we thought that Montgomery Park was a great example of that. You know, we were tasked with this 18-acre urban infill district in Northwest Portland that currently has 2 large 1920 historic buildings surrounded by surface lot parking and parking garages. And you know, we wanted to reinvigorate that and use public realm as a key driver into an active, walkable, connected, mixed-use district, but that looked to the past too for success. And it's the 1905. It's the site of the 1905 Lewis and Clark Centennial Exhibition, where there was amazing festivals and events and parks and open space and public realm, streets and boulevards. So it was important for us to look to the past to help envision the future. And in looking at the context, you know, it's kind of positioned at the nexus between where city and industry and park meet. When it comes to the city, you know, Portland's growing to the northwest. There's a streetcar expansion happening. This district becomes the terminus station to the streetcar. So there's an opportunity for the transit-oriented development to be a key part of the success of this project. So it's connected to the community, to the transit system. There's a multimodal access reality to this project. Then, and from the industry standpoint, you know, highlighting the history of these historic buildings and the grit and the character they bring in day one, but also renovating them and using kind of bringing back life to the ground plane and engaging the public realm in fun ways, breaking them down, having pedestrian connections, and really engage the outdoors was important for us for these existing buildings, but also integrating them with new construction. So everything kind of felt in a similar authenticity to the district is really important. But then the park really became the key driver to the purpose of the project. We want to create a purpose here, and Forest Park is right next door to the project. It's a 2.5-minute walk, and we wanted to create an identity and purpose. And we came around the outdoors. So the idea of the project here was to create an urban trailhead district for Northwest Portland. So for the larger community to come here and access Forest Park, but they can also live, work, and play. But the outdoors was embedded in the district too, and to the extent of the open space. Yeah, engagement with the outdoors, but also the tenants, you know, the people who work here, you know, the retail tenants and food and things like that, but also amenities. There's amenities that can engage the outdoors and supplement that and encourage the outdoor lifestyle is really important. So a lot of opportunities for new urbanism in this project, and we're super, super excited and honored to win this award. Thank you again to our clients. Thank you again to the design team for the amazing efforts, and thank you again to CNU for selecting us as a winner. See ya.
Una de las cosas más grandes que ha hecho es que nos ha permitido pues expandir el patio hasta afuera para poder tener a personas que vienen, porque mucha gente quiere salir de su casa, quieren venir a comer, pues qué mejor lugar que aquí.
Hopefully it's a permanent thing, because a lot of people do like the idea of being able to sit outside and enjoying the weather, and plus it provides me with more seating options because we are so small. To have this extension actually helps a lot.
So we immediately set about working when the Phase 1 rules came out, trying to figure out how we could create outdoor dining, how we could create spaces that work for our small businesses in the city.
I've worked with the city for about 17 years. However, for them to say that we're going to paint an area, extend your patio, and we're going to have this done within 5 to 7 days is absolutely phenomenal.
That's why Open Norfolk is tremendous for these businesses, because it just gives them that extra boost of confidence. We want Norfolk to continue to be on that path of continuous success.
We provided everything we could at no cost to the businesses. They had already suffered enough, and we wanted to try to help them as best we could.
The city has been quite supportive. Without them, I don't know how we would have gotten through this. When they had explained what they're going to do, so I'm like, how much is this going to cost? She says, well, the city is donating. I'm like, what?
Open Norfolk provided our whole patio and the tables and chairs. And I literally didn't even have to come out here and do anything.
I think Norfolk's gone above and beyond their call to make that happen for its small business community.
Thank you, Open Norfolk and Work Program Architecture for providing this outdoor seating for Cutter's Kitchen. We appreciate it.
Pues gracias realmente a la ciudad de Norfolk por la oportunidad y por ayudarnos a seguir en el negocio y pues aquí estamos para ustedes.
Hi, my name is Sarah Alexander, and I'm a design principal at Torty Gallison Partners. Today, I'm pleased to share with you the Bonneval. Located in the Capitol Hill neighborhood of Washington, D.C., Bonneval is an elegant 40-unit condominium building designed to seamlessly blend with the character of the surrounding row house neighborhood. A key design concept for this project was a sensitivity toward context. As a residential infill project, the building needed to respond appropriately to the scale of its neighbors and incorporate historically accurate architectural details, while still providing a modern, functional, and marketable place to live. The core effect was resolved by breaking the structure down into two visually distinct buildings. This allowed the project to continue the incremental row house character of the adjacent streetscape, while also stepping down the building height adjacent to the neighboring two-story row homes. Simply put, Bonneval is a reclamation of the city block through a thoughtful, calculated, and experienced effort. A classically inspired cornice and handcrafted brackets complete the vernacular experience, with all of these carefully crafted details that complement the historic district character. It is a challenge to determine whether the new building stops and the historical context begins. Let's go inside. The project is also exemplary of many of the charter principles for the block, the street, and the building. For instance, Principle 22, Bonneval repurposed the former building's basement as a new parking garage with vehicular access from the rear alley, leaving the sidewalk safe for pedestrian interaction. Or Principle 23, Bonneval's revitalized streetscape with a continuation of pedestrian-scaled front yard fencing and Capitol Hill standard red brick sidewalks encourages walking and pedestrian connectivity. Principle 24, Bonneval's architectural character takes its cues from the local vernacular and is complemented with locally sourced landscape species and forms. Or Principle 26, standing upon the roof terrace, one can certainly know their location in the city, as the United States Capitol looms large. Principle 27, Bonneval not only respects its context, but certainly celebrates its historic district, one of the most cherished in the country. The result of these efforts is a modern-day urban jewel, one that pays the ultimate respect to the history that came before it and the legacy it will now leave for our future neighborhood residents to enjoy. The success of the Bonneval would not have been possible without the vision of Grant Epstein of Community 3 Development and the guidance from Steve Calcott at the Historic Preservation Office. It was a joy to work on this project.
This hotel was imagined to be primarily about a courtyard and a public space, which is a very different way to think about a hotel in many ways, where often a hotel is a fairly closed and private experience. This hotel from the very beginning, and I give a great deal of credit to our client, who imagined from the get-go and who challenged us to imagine designing a place that was primarily about the public experience.
I think for us, the most important part about Hammets is it's for it to be part of the community. The thing that I'm very proud of, I think we're collectively proud of, is the spirit of the folks that helped create it. All anchored, by the way, by Union Studio. The spirit that team imbued with the place, we hope is the most important part of what people come away with, because we're very, very proud of it. We think it's wonderful.
Thank you to the CNU and to this awards jury for recognizing our practice and this project for Charter Award this year. I mean, for us, this is incredibly meaningful. Our practice has been informed for 20 years by the professionals, the colleagues, the friends, and the thinkers that have been part of the CNU and who have challenged us for the last 20 years to create buildings and places that make meaningful contributions to our civic, communal, and community life. And so, in many ways, this award feels like the recognition of the jury of our peers, and for us, that's incredibly meaningful. And so, thank you very much.
Good evening. I'm Hunter G. with Smith G Studio. This is my partner, Scott Morton. We'd also like to recognize Mona Hodge, who was instrumental in implementing Kirkpatrick Park. Scott, Mona, and I are residents of the neighborhood, and it was an honor to be part of such an important project for Nashville. Thank you to CNU for this award. It's humbling to be mentioned among so many champions of new urbanism. It's also extraordinarily humbling for us to be involved in one of Nashville's most transformational projects addressing our workforce and affordable housing challenge. Kirkpatrick Park is only the first phase of a much larger redevelopment in Nashville, taking the city's oldest public housing development and transforming it into mixed income and mixed use. As the first phase, we knew we had to get it right.
In 2014, Nashville's Public Housing Authority, MDHA, unveiled an ambitious plan to replace all of the older public housing units built in the 1940s and 50s in their portfolio. EJP Consulting Group and Smith G Studio led the effort for the Envision Casey Master Plan with MDHA. In this plan, we had three main goals. One, we had a commitment of 1-for-1 replacement for all the existing public housing units within the development. Two is that we wanted to deconcentrate poverty through a mixed income development. And three, we wanted to guarantee that there would be no displacement of existing residents and that the transition would be smooth as possible. One of the keys to achieving this was to identify the right site to avoid displacement of residents and to target Phase 1 construction. We identified an underutilized park at the edge of the community for this target site. However, it was their neighborhood park. Through a robust community engagement process, we were able to work with residents to build consensus and trust that this was the right place for Phase 1. In exchange, we provided a much larger central open space within the master plan that would provide better access to all residents. Kirkpatrick Park includes 15 buildings and 94 units of mixed income housing for public housing residents, workforce residents, and market rate residents. The community wanted the project to blend in with the neighborhood. So we developed transitional styles that incorporated the historical context and new modern infill development surrounding the site.
With mixed income housing, it was critical that we were able to compete with other local market rate residential projects. The CNU principles were a great platform to make that happen. A safe, walkable community with open spaces and market rate amenities was important. This set the precedent for the entire Envision Casey project, which is well underway. Thank you, CNU, and congratulations to MDHA and the entire Kirkpatrick Park design and construction team.
Good evening, I'm John Zena, Planning Director for Memphis and Shelby County. On behalf of the City of Memphis and the Division of Planning and Development, I want to thank the Congress for the New Urbanism and the awards jury for this prestigious charter award. This award is further recognition of not only the quality of the Memphis 3.0 comprehensive plan, but its emphasis on implementation, including significant investment that's being made today in communities, placemaking, and public infrastructure necessary to achieve the plan's vision of compact, walkable, transit-served communities. Again, thank you. You have neighborhoods in the older part of Memphis that were thriving at the beginning of the 20th century, but due to decades of disinvestment, you have large percentages of vacancy, large percentages of decline. Memphis 3.0 wants to look at how we reinvest in those areas and bring those areas back up to be anchors of new activity for the decades to come. Anchors are centers of community where we seek to build more dense, walkable, transit-served, mixed-use, mixed-income communities.
To identify those neighborhood anchors, we work with community members to look at the assets first of their community and then think about the opportunities and then last, of course, the weaknesses. We want to encourage new residents and new visitors to come, but we also want to respect the folks that have been here for a number of years and continue to support those areas and neighborhoods in ways that are smart and equitable and fair to those communities. The Memphis 3.0 comprehensive plan effort really energized the planning community in our city.
We've been working on a new street plan, a new sewer master plan, a new stormwater plan, a new parks master plan, all of these different related activities that help to align our resources around the core city and neighborhood centers that are identified in the comprehensive plan.
We've got a lot of tools in our toolkit that are looking towards the future and really supported by what the community members, stakeholders, agency leaders said. These are the things that can make our city more thriving, that can encourage density, housing types, affordability needs, and other things like open space. Planning does matter. Planning can change the landscape of your city for the better, and everybody has a place at that table.
Hi, I'm Stefan Pellegrini, Principal of Opticos Design. On behalf of all of us at Opticos and our national and local consultant team, I want to thank the Congress for New Urbanism and the Charter Awards jury for this prestigious Charter Award. Working on Memphis 3.0 was absolutely a special experience for us, and that it turned the traditional client-consultant relationship on its head to deliver a plan and process that was inclusive, homegrown, and impactful. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, we cannot be together to celebrate, but we are thrilled and honored to receive the 2021 CNU Charter Award. This award represents a great success to our firm, to our team, and to our country, Guatemala. It has been a privilege to work for almost 20 years with Leon Creer directing this project, and also with our team at Studio Urbano and Richard Economakis and Mark Landers. Many thanks to all of the people that have collaborated in charrettes over the years to get us to this point. And also to Hector Leal and the Leal family, our patrons, who have the courage of supporting this new vision for traditional development in Guatemala.
We would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to the Board of Directors and the members of the jury. Our vision with the new town of Cayala is to show a viable alternative for future development. It is rooted in a sense of place rather than time, inspired by the beautiful site and enriched by our amazing cultural heritage. It is a built environment that people truly love. Cayala is a physical proof that traditional architecture and urbanism can bring us closer to ideals of order, courtesy, peace, respect, freedom, and contemplation of beauty. Engaging in contemplation, we raise our spirit in a vision that transcends our daily life.
My name is Leon Creer. I was involved with Cayala, a new development in Guatemala by Studio Urbano in 2003. Very large property of several hundred hectares. Cayala was planned for 7 years before it started building. And the interesting thing about Cayala was that we started building the high street first. And with that high street, which was about 500 meters long, you had the feeling that the whole town is already there, because you had a mix of use. You had a public building, you had shops, you had a very different a range of apartments and workplaces. So it's a mixed-use development of high density, and which demonstrates that we can build any density as long as it's not going against the human scale, vertical or horizontal human scale. And as such is interesting because despite of it being dense, it's extremely intimate. The blocks are very small and create a very rich network of public space, of street and alleyways. 4 High Street which cross in the middle, which is the Plaza Mayor, on which we are building a rather large cathedral, actually the largest cathedral in Guatemala. And the dome and the campanario, they are really like lighthouses which mark the center of town. So you have really a core for urban life which started very early on, which is the first of 4 different quarters which are built on one string over the next 20 years and ending up in a hill town. And in there such is a very important experience to have not just one single statement, but will be of very different characters, all linked by common high street. It has become almost like the new historic center for Guatemala City. Kaela normally would have been a gated community, as wished initially by the developers. I was able to convince them during the first charrette we had that they, as a Christian family, were obligated not to build a gated community, but to build an urban city, because I think that the Christian city is a heritage of the Persian, Greek, Roman cities, and it's the basis of modern democratic societies. It has to be planned so that the spaces where people meet really promote this mixity and this solidarity. Identity politics which are developing now are partially a result of this kind of zoning of society, and we are building against this because we think that the common good is not just a kind of social fantasy, but is also a physical space where this common good is cultivated every day. And I think that's a model for the future.
Hi, I'm Lou Oliver. I am the master planner of the new town of Trilith in South Metro Atlanta. Trilith is about 264 acres, half of which is green space, meaning we literally worked the town plan around the forest that was here. And we created a very dense new urbanist community in this location. When fully built out, we're going to have 1,400 units. 700 of those are apartments above a mixed-use town center, and the other 700 are mostly single-family homes with townhouses. Now, the beauty of Trilith is that we used Christopher Alexander's concept of green streets in laying this out. So literally half of our streets in Trilith are pathways and multi-use trails that branch out from the town center and go into the woodlands. These green streets actually intersect with parks. This one happens to be on a neighborhood scale, so this is a very intimate park. And we have a variety of building types that form the walls of these small urban spaces, from single-family houses, townhouses, micro homes, and we're going to be introducing some innovative new concepts for seniors. We think that Trilith is very noteworthy, and we decided to enter it for an award because we have very environmentally sustainable practices here. All of our buildings are net zero ready construction of shells that are super insulated. All of our houses and townhouses are on geothermal energy, and a lot of them are supplemented with solar. We believe intensely in diversity here, whether it's cultural, racial, family makeup, and age diversity. There's something for everyone here. We like old people to be mixed with youth. We do not believe in segregating them here. So we try very hard to make sure the housing accommodates all of these different kinds of people. There's a special emphasis on creativity here, being across from a creative enterprise like a movie production center. So you're going to see blocks with varying architecture that can be used as a backlot for filming. And the founder, Dan Cathy, really wanted us to create a youthful atmosphere and bring in a lot of diverse types of architecture. So we like to use the word dissonance for that. So it's really a collision of styles that creates what you see here at Trilith and causes people to be very excited. And on a final note, at Trilith, this is a very fast market here in Metro Atlanta, and so we have to design and we have to build and we have to sell in a very condensed time frame. I think some of the early projects in new urbanism may have taken 20 to 25 years, and our goal for Trilith is 10 to 12 years, so it would be about half of conventional. And of course, that produces a lot of opportunities, and something I have never done is a project with this high velocity.
This was kind of an exciting project for us. We didn't know what we were getting into. This is a project that really started right after the George Floyd killings and the civil unrest that occurred afterwards. We wanted to do something very constructive for this neighborhood down here in Chatham. And that was really important to us because these are Black-owned businesses that have been hit hard by the COVID-19. And then also the looting that occurred didn't only occur on the north side of Chicago, but also on the south side as well.
The boardwalk was a collaborative effort. We think of it as 14 outdoor living rooms. There's 14 spaces where you can dine, you can eat, you can recreate, you can lounge.
75th Street, as you can tell, is a busy street. Lots of cars moving back and forth pretty fast. This slows things down and allows people to spend more time here and therefore spend more money. Ernie had a couple of things that he wanted to make sure happened. He wanted to make sure we were using Black and brown people to actually do the work. He wanted to make sure we were teaching the youth and that they were getting some skills. He wanted them to get paid.
Black-owned contractors teaching some of the residents and the youth here in this neighborhood how to do some basic carpentry skills that they could continue to use for the rest of their lives.
We did an outreach to the community and to the youth to say who wants to participate. That worked out well. The students get paid for their labor, they got new training skills.
He wanted to use the plywood from some of the boarded up establishments.
Some of the plywood that you see here is actually from the Cartier and Rolex stores over on North Michigan Avenue.
The construction method, the construction materials, and this construction detailing were very simple, and that was intentional. We all just put our wheels in motion and said, okay, I can do this, 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 and this, because this was all pro bono. Did we mention that? Nobody was getting paid.
Once the paint started to go on, the flowers started to be put in, everybody has just been excited. We get people walking by all the time telling us just how much it's done for the community and how excited they are to have it. It really addresses some of the inequity, the disinvestment that we've suffered.
This community had the bones to do more. It was important to have this happen here because it was needed. And I think the message that needed to be sent was that they are here and they are open, and that here's another reason for you to come.
Thank you very much for this award. This is a surprise, but a welcome surprise. Thank you very much. Our team at the Kessler Enterprise is so excited and appreciative of your confidence and your recognition of 9 years of work. The Plant Riverside project was a repurposing of a 1912 historic power plant. We have worked diligently to restore and bring back the history and take something that was designed really for industrial use and to make it into something that's usable and exciting and gives back to the community. Well, it was quite a process we went through to create it. We invited 30 people from the community, and from that we created a list of ideas they had. What would make the city better? What would they do with the project? And what is it Savannah did not have? And from all that information, we created a program of 14 food and beverage operations, a 419-room JW hotel, 20,000 feet of retail, 500-car parking facility, all the things that really was needed along the riverfront. We have a natural science museum. It includes a 135-foot dinosaur and many meteorites and all types of minerals and fossils that kids really, really enjoy. We also are creating a music museum, the Gretsch Family Music Museum. We also will have a radio station based at Plant Riverside. Live music every single day, free to the community. And on the weekends, we even have a Cirque du Soleil type of entertainment. So there's so many things happening. We have 3 big fountains that attract children to this place. We get tremendous compliments from all the tourists. They love a hotel, and it's really been rewarding to hear all the positive feedback we've received. The architects that made this project come alive were from 3 different areas. Christian Sotil from Savannah, Georgia. He is a wonderful urban planner, and he worked with the other 2 architects, John Campo of Campo and Associates, and also PFVS. They were also very supportive and very helpful in designing this project. There have been many people involved in making this a reality. Too many people, frankly, to even name the whole list tonight. But to them, I thank them. I'm often asked, why would I take on such a project? Well, I'm from Savannah originally. This is my 7th hotel since 1970 that I've developed in this historic city. I'm proud of this city. It's beautiful. It has something to give, not only to the locals, but also to the tourists that come. And I'm glad to be a part of doing something that's added to the fabric, the quality of life in this city. Again, I want to thank the Congress for the New Urbanism. Thank you very much for this recognition. Selection committee, board, and staff, thank you, thank you, thank you. It is satisfying, it's exhilarating, and our team is exuberant about winning such an international award and a prestige award. Thank you very much.